talking about the 3 biggest takeaways from spending 3 days with my man, Mr. Ben Greenfield. So let's get back into it right after a quick episode sponsor break.
Do you want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Cary Jack, and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model/actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco-warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality.
Do you want to optimize your life? Then I got 3 of my biggest takeaways from 3 days with my man, Mr. Ben Greenfield, who is all about total life optimization. I'm telling you, the guy is a stud, a friend of mine who really is living life to the fullest. And you're going to want to learn from some of these insider strategies that he doesn't share too often. But fortunately, myself and our Happy Hustle Club members got to go to his house for what we call the Optimized Life Mastermind. And it was epic. So I want to share with you 3 of the biggest takeaways from that time. What's up, y'all? My name is Cary Jack, and I am a lifestyle entrepreneur and author and founder of The Happy Hustle and top 0.5% globally ranked podcast host. And I want to share with you these takeaways because they're too good to just keep to myself. And for the guys who were there live, present in the trenches of Spokane, Washington, the forest where Ben lives. He's got a compound in Washington, but we were in the trenches working out hardcore, going through Ben's nitty gritty, full body workouts and much, much more. And this was a powerful experience, not just for myself, but for all the guys who attended. These were all high performing, heart centered male entrepreneurs. We put together this collaboration, Ben and myself, to ultimately go to his house and focus on the most important areas of our life and really optimizing each. So specifically, we focused on our businesses, our bodies, and our relationships. So I want to share with you 3 takeaways in each of those categories, as well as some honorable mentions, things that I think you will find interesting and potentially will help you optimize your life. So let's dive in. Okay. So the first one that I want to share with you is related to your business because the guy's impressive. I'm reading his book right now. Look at this thing. It's a damn textbook. I mean, he's got a whole slew of books like this. And this book is so well done. The amount of thought and foresight and research that goes into his books is second to none. And in order to have that type of output, you really need to stay focused. So the first thing that I asked Ben, I'm like, Ben, dude, how do you do it all? I mean, you got a massive business, massive social media impact, massive output in terms of your workload. He's working with celebrity clients that, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, like Zac Efron and many others, right? He's got top tier clients that he's working with and coaching, but he's also a present father and husband. So I was like, all right, well, how do you get it all done? And he goes, Cary, look around. What don't you see in my house? And I was like, I don't know. I see a lot of things. He goes, a TV. And I was like, wise master. I was like, think how much time we waste watching TV. Oh my goodness. If you just put that time elsewhere, it would be exponentially more valuable than whatever, time is wasted, watching TV. So that was just a first, takeaway, but not the one I really want to talk about. The one I really want to talk about is how he sets deadlines. He said, when he has a book that he writes, he sets a hard deadline to turn the manuscript in. And he does this in all different facets of his business, but I'll just use the book example. And he's like, I am absolutely ferocious when it comes to hitting deadlines. And I make damn sure that I block out the time necessary it takes to hit the deadline on time. For example, he's getting up in the wee hours of the morning to write before any distractions. And he makes sure that his word count is on pace with his deadline. And I know this seems, duh, Cary, but the truth is not many of us actually set deadlines and then hit them with that type of ferocity. And it was just a valuable reminder for me, is like, okay, how can I actually set deadlines for everything I need to do and then really stick to the schedule, reverse engineering the process. He also has a very effective team that he delegates tasks with. So, I noticed when we were interfacing in the setup of this event, he's got a social media person who's helping with this, and the manager for this, and then the house manager for that, and then this person for that. It was like everyone had their lane. And, I feel like even with my own team, there's some crossover. So maybe that's similar in your sense. If you don't have a team, maybe look into, slowly building. I recommend starting with an executive assistant. Shout out to Connie, my amazing executive assistant. But really, I got to say, a team and delegating effectively, huge business takeaway. Watching him do that, very impressive. Okay. Second takeaway. All right. So the first one we talked about, setting deadlines, also no TV, and then delegating effectively with your team. Second one is for your body. Now, the guy's 185, 6% body fat. He was an endurance athlete and triathlete, Ironman runner, Spartan race runner. Like, just, he puts his body through the ringer. But one of the things he said to all the guys was like, if you're not cutting out these three things and you want to optimize, you're literally wasting your time. I was like, oh, well, what are those three things? And he's like, they're seed oils, sugars, and alcohol. So no seed oils, no sugars, no alcohol. Like natural sugar, okay, but processed sugar, So think about it. Like, one of the guys was like, well, I need to lose, 10 pounds and I want to build muscle. And he's like, well, are you eating seed oils, processed sugars, and drinking alcohol? And he's like, yeah. So all three. And I was like, well, and he was like, well, it's probably not going to be worth your time to learn any other advanced strategies until you just cover the basics. So that was a takeaway. Another thing, testosterone, that comes up a lot as a man. There's a lot of guys I know, friends of mine even, who are taking hormone replacement, therapy like TRT and whatnot, and they're injecting it. I'm not. I've never, done that natural levels that are solid. But what Ben recommended was go to Dr. Koniver, Koniver, and have him do a telehealth study with you, look at your levels. And then one of the things that he uses is this testosterone cream, and he puts it on his balls, and it ramps up his testosterone. But he has herbal remedies that he uses first. Then he has the testosterone cream, and then he has a TRT injection that he's using in very small dosages, just because he said he just wants to see what it feels like. And I was like, oh, good for you. But anyway, that was a takeaway. I was like, oh, hormones, especially as a man. Whoa. Apologies for interrupting your programming. But I have to tell you, the best investment you can make in yourself is one in which helps you acquire skills. You've probably heard people talk about, oh, just invest in yourself and you'll be successful. Yes, that's true to a degree, but you have to invest in skills that will ultimately help you achieve your desired results. And I think one of the best skills one can possess, be it an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, is the sales sword. Really knowing how to sell, utilizing pressure-free persuasion, which will make you more money and more impact. Now, if you want to know how to sell more efficiently and effectively, I just launched a sales course called The Proven Roadmap Process to Selling Millions of Dollars and helping you to increase your conversions, guaranteed. And you can get access to this new sales course that the Happy Hustle is launching at thehappyhustle.com/sales. And if you act fast, you'll get it at the lowest price it'll ever be available, because we are launching it and we want to gain amazing testimonials and social proof to further share this knowledge. So if you act fast, you can get it at the lowest price it'll ever be. That's at thehappyhustle.com/sales. Now let's get back to this episode. And testosterone, as you age, it's very important. You need to, really do your research on it before you just jump on hormone therapy. And so he recommended that order. Start with the herbal remedies, Tangat Ali, and some of these other supplements. He has a supplement that's kind of like an all-in-one that I'll link up a picture in the show notes of what that is and what he recommended. But then he recommended, having a telehealth and using some of these more, I guess you would call them exogenous creams. And then if you need it, use the TRT or hormone replacement. But specifically the no seed oils, the no processed sugars, and the no alcohol. Those are key. Okay, moving on to the third takeaway. When it comes to your relationships in your family, this was my biggest one by far. And that is the usage and implementation of Legato Family. What a breakthrough, mind-blowing. I mean, now Rich Christensen has been on the Happiest Podcast, and he's the founder of Legato. And he is such an impressive human. He's had 5 sons, all start $1 million business before the age of 18. And he really knows how to build wealth, but then not have your kids spoil themselves with it. And he educates billionaire families on how to really, build a family legacy. So he educated Ben and his family on how to use this Legato family legacy system. And essentially, Ben pulled back the curtain on how they actually implement it. And Ben actually sent us his whole family constitution. It's, over 50 pages on every single component of their lives, their families, everything from bank account information to, how do they act with, new spouses and new relationships to each kid has their own color and theme. And there was just so much in there. And it was really cool to see it actually implemented because my wife and I have been going through the process, but we haven't completed it. And we have a 7-month-old. So I'm really motivated now more than ever to, have an amazing family and really be an even better father and husband. However, seeing Ben and how they have their family meetings, it was just super cool. Also, he prays quite often. They do family prayer at the nighttime. In the morning, I think they do a little touch base, circle up prayer. They do it over every meal. I typically pray over every meal, but this was cool to see how much faith he has and how it's just woven in his everyday reality. So those are some takeaways. I got to say, hopefully those are valuable for you. But I do want to say a couple more. So there's a guy named Brian Johnson. He's a biohacker. He spends like $2 million every single year. And one of the guys asked about, hey, what do you think of Brian Johnson and this guy who's like very limited on his diet, his exercise, his sun exposure, like he's doing everything in his power to extend his lifespan. And Ben was like, honestly, I'd rather focus on the quality of my life than extending my life. And he is like, I have a glass of wine typically every day. I'm a big foodie. Yes, I'm all about being a human guinea pig and optimizing, but ultimately I want to have fun while I'm here and really enjoy the moment and make the biggest impact. I was like, I think that's such a great mindset because some of us get so caught up in the wearable tech devices, the Oura Ring, tracking my sleep score and all these things for data and like what's my telomere length and, what's my biological age and all this stuff versus my chronological age. And the longevity field is like super hot right now. But then sometimes you forget how precious life is and how this moment really, is all you truly have. That's why it's important to put the happy in your everyday hustle and not sacrifice your soul in the process. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I just love that perspective. So those are some takeaways from this mastermind. I mean, ultimately, the Happy Hustle Club guys who attended, I have the testimonial videos. We're putting together a little sizzle reel, but I mean, they were like, this is life-changing. I mean, guys were crying. Hey, I cried. We were laughing like little schoolgirls. We just couldn't contain our fun. We did frisbee golf and we did bags and cornhole, same thing. For the record, we played Aero Sports. Shout out to Mike Kinner, the inventor. We ate delicious food. Shout out to Chef Steve. And we did business mastermind. And we talked about our adversities, personally and professionally. And it was a really powerful experience. Looking forward to future collaborations with Ben. Just really, it was definitely one of those masterminds where you're like, this is why we do it, because there was just so much cool things that took place, the bonds that were built, campfire chats, and we play, kind of like the charades game. Anyway, very fun. We went out downtown Spokane. That was a hoot. Yeah. Anyway, one more thing, big shout out to Eric Stofers, who was there, CEO of BioAccelerator down in Medellin, Colombia. He gave all the guys there $10,000 off a stem cell treatment because they do full-on stem cell treatments down in Medellin, Colombia. And if you don't know about stem cells, essentially they are quote unquote illegal in the United States at this current moment of this recording due to, let's say some red tape. But anyway, I'm not trying to get this episode banned. The point is, Eric hooked all the brothers up with basically free stem cell treatments. And it was super kind to him. Check out BioAccelerator. That's where, all these UFC and NFL players are going down there. UFC athletes and Gary Brecka, Grant Cardone, a bunch of people are going down to Medellin, Colombia. I'm going to be going down there to see Eric. He's going to come on the podcast. So if you're interested in getting stem cells, check out BioAccelerator down in Medellin. Anyway, that's some of the biggest things, biohacking for optimal performance and holistic health, really making sure that, you are doing these things that Ben's recommending. Check out his books. Some other things, that come to mind. I'm just looking at my notes here. Prioritizing sleep, focusing on nutrition, moving daily, some of those core principles, practicing mindfulness, staying hydrated, managing stress, optimizing recovery, limiting the toxins in your body, cultivating healthy relationships, and just, continuously learning and experimenting. These are the things that Ben lives by, and hopefully, you do too. So that is it for today. I hope this was valuable. Really, truly, check out his work. If you are a parent, check out Boundless Parenting, this textbook right here. I got to say, worth the read. He also has Boundless, another book. He gave us all copies of every single book that he's ever written, which was super kind of him. But shout out to you, Ben, if you're watching. Everyone else, definitely check out his work online, and we'll link to maybe some of the videos and content from the Optimized Life Mastermind. And who knows, maybe for the next one, you can attend yourself. Anyway, thanks so much. I appreciate the heck out of you. Keep on happy hustling. And peace and love, y'all. We're out.